Hey folks, welcome back to our Origin Summer Preview 2015 coverage. I'm Zeke Garcia and I have Nick Little with me, and we're taking a look here at Scoundrel Society, which I'm sure is not a commentary on anyone I'm familiar with at all. So, Nick, tell me a little bit about this one.
Okay, so the theme to this game is that you play like a high-end con man in the 1920s, 1930s sort of Art Deco era, and you belong to this society of other con men, the Scoundrel Society, if you will. And once a year, you guys meet up and you pick a mark that you're going to steal. You're going to rob them blind. So this is a poor rich person.
Okay.
An unfortunate rich person, I should say. And then you're going to take all the money and all the sweet loot that they have in their mansion. Got it. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to pick which mark that you want, and the mark cards just kind of influence the value of different types of loot. So all the loot are going to have a type to them. So, and then you're going to be dealt a thief card. So you'll have an individual sort of player power based on who you are. In this game, you're Dr. Cornelius Pfefferkorn.
Pfefferkorn.
Right. The P is silent. I am Miffy Schultz, so that's who we're going to play as, and you're going to get a hand of action cards dealt to you. Everyone will have the same 5 action cards. Okay. So this is where the mechanics of the game come in. It's a simultaneous action selection, so you and I are both going to pick an action that we want to do at the same time and put them face down next to our guy. So just go ahead and pick whichever one you want. And then once we've done that, we're going to flip them over. So we have both chosen Snatch. Okay. So each action has 2 boxes here that tells you what the abilities do. Okay. Now here's where the strategy comes in. The top part has a little 1 meeple guy near it that's going to get bigger in the actual game. This again is a prototype, so some of these components will change. But that means if you're the only one to do this, you're going to get this ability. Okay. If multiple people do it, you're going to get the bottom ability.
The lesser ability.
In this case, yes. So it says the top one says steal 2 loot from the row. The bottom one just says steal 1 loot from the row. Okay. So since we both chose it, we just get to steal 1 loot from the row. 3 of the actions are better when you do them by yourself. 1 of the actions is the same no matter who does it. And then the last action, Scheme, gets better when multiple people do it. Got it. So Scheme says, if you do it by yourself, it says use your grift ability. So that references your card here. Your top ability is called a grift ability. Okay. So that's like your special ability. So this like activates your special ability. So if multiple people do it, in any order, you get to use your grift ability and place 1 loot into your stash. Okay. So quickly we'll go over like what happens in the game, what the cards do. So Snatch means you just get to steal something and put it in front of you. So now you control this, you're like holding it, but it is something that you can interact with based on some cards. Okay. The loot all have a value, and this one's worth nothing. Okay. An ability. A type, so this is a document, that's what the little paper looks like, and then a suspicion value. So the suspicion value in this game is very important because what you're going to do is, in the last 10 cards of the deck, we're going to shuffle in Constable Cramphorn, okay?
Ooh, I don't like that guy.
Yeah, he's the cops. So when he shows up, the game immediately ends. We don't finish turns, we don't finish the round, the game just stops. Got it. Because if you want to steal while the cops are around, I'm pretty sure you're the one that's going to get caught, so you better cut that out. So when the constable arrives, we stop everything, we count up the amount of suspicion value we have in our loot, okay? Whoever has the most suspicion is eliminated, they get nicked. Got it. And then of the remaining players, whoever has the most value wins. So to give you a little backstory as to how this game came up with, my partner, Travis Chance, who I designed this game with, we designed Heroes Wanted, and in 90% of the playtest sessions, I win Heroes Wanted and he gets second. So he's like, I want to make a game where second place wins. And I'm like, how would we ever design this? And this is what we came up with. So most of the time, the person who's the most suspicious has the most value too, and that's how we sort of came into that. Okay. So this loot has the ability, when you steal this from the mark, you get to look at the top 4 cards of the deck, steal 1, place it into your stash, and discard the remaining one. So this is a pretty powerful one. It gives you a lot of options. So you would look at these top 4, you would be like, okay, I want to steal these silver candlesticks. You put them out in front of you, you discard these, and then you get to place them into your stash. So when something's in your stash, nobody else knows what it is but you. Got it. And they can't interact with it at all. Okay. But now I'm stuck with this cruddy treasure map that's worth 0 value and has 2 suspicion, right? So later I might want to play this card that says Switch. It's called Switch, and it says exchange a loot with another player, and then you can stash 1 loot if you do it by yourself. Okay. So yeah, so this is one of those situations where if you had taken your turn and you had, maybe taken this mink coat, so maybe I decide I'm going to give this to you, take your mink coat, and then if I did it by myself, I'd get to stash it. Got it. Exactly. Cool. Well, it sounds like a quick game. About how long is the game playing? It takes about 45 minutes because you have to go through the whole deck. It plays 3 to 5. You can't really play 2 players because you'd never want to steal anything because you don't want to get caught.
Right.
So it plays 3 to 5. Yeah, it does play about half an hour if you played the game several times. What's neat about this game is everybody has a different special ability and then also a different static ability based on what their knack is. Okay. And then the loot kind of tells a story. Like the treasure map is very, thematic to what it does. There's a card called Exotic Pet that's like this purple striped rhino thing. That if he's not stashed by the time you pick up your actions, he goes back to the bottom of the deck, so he runs back to his owner. Because you're going to play each of these actions once, and then after you've done that, everybody's going to pick up their hand.
Okay.
And the first player or marker will pass after every time you play an action, so that it's going to... Some of these actions are better when you go earlier in the turn, and some of them are better when you go later in the turn. So that and how much stuff... Because you can only have 3 loot out at a time in front of you, so you're going to have to stash in order to play some of the cards. So there's a lot of things that can influence what I think you're going to do and what the third player would do. So it's a very interesting strategy game that's so fast, you know what I mean? It's almost like a Euro-y take on a Take That game, because you can't stick somebody with more suspicion.
Sounds interesting. Obviously, we're looking here at prototype box, some prototype cards, but when can we look forward to this? When is this coming out?
So this will be on Kickstarter June 15th, okay. So a week from Monday. And it'll be up for 4 weeks, so you'll have plenty of time to get to it. This one's going to be another a low price point game. It's going to be about $19 to get the game. We will have a deluxe version that comes with wooden tokens and a wooden first player piece, and also a 10 card special like expansion pack that is full of historical loot. So it'll have the Hope Diamond, the Mona Lisa, the Declaration of Independence, the Ark of the Covenant, Excalibur, stuff like that. Those do add a little complexity to the game, but it also adds to the storytelling aspect of the way the things come out.
Very cool. So Scoundrel Society from Action Phase Games, coming to Kickstarter very soon. Thank you, sir, for joining me.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com.